Welcome, everybody. It's Community Preservation Committee, September 18th. We're in hybrid in the land use meeting room. Tonight with us, we'll go around the table. Rick, we'll start on your side.
Rick Harriman, Dennis Clark, John Wally,
Chris Pratt.
Dave Spina.
Brandon Duncan.
Okay, and first off, I'd like to welcome Brianna Duncan and Rick Harriman. Your first meetings. I appreciate you coming. Thank you so much. All right. Do we have anybody we'll do some open comment, public comments?
Marcus, do you have anything to say?
No, he's just here in support. I know. I know what Marcus is here for.
Okay.
October 18th.
All right, we'll go on to new business.
That's July.
Oh, if anybody wants to speak tonight, there's a sign-in sheet in the back for you to sign in. And when you do speak, say your name and address. Okay. You have an application submission, acquisition of 74 College Highway by the Southwick Historical Society. Look at that.
In black and white, but I do have it
Okay.
saved on my drive.
All right, previewed it, very well done.
Yeah.
I thought anyway, and one person.
I have a copy of the other.
That's okay. Within the application, we do have a letter of support from Pioneer Valley Planning Committee. We have some support from AgCom.
Make motion, we accept the application and fund it.
Is there any discussion first?
Lee came all the way here.
No, Lee has a presentation. I agree with you, but.
Did you just second it? I think he did. Sounds like a second to me.
Okay, I'll second.
I think there needs to be a discussion.
Well, I asked if there was any, nobody
We kind of
said.
had one last meeting.
May
I
I?
asked for discussion.
Lee Hamburg, 48 South Long Yard Road, for the Southwick Historical Society. The proposal is pretty straightforward. We're asking funds to accomplish 5 things. First, to have the Southwick Historical Society Incorporated purchase the 74 College Highway parcel. Second, place a conservation restriction on most, if not the entire parcel. Third, create a land management plan which accounts for its scenic, agricultural, and passive recreational value. Fourth, to provide a kiosk with educational information, rules, and a map of the property. And finally, to allow public access via a trail on the parcel and parking in the existing lot in front of the cigar factory. As outlined in the proposal, the project retains the rural landscape rather than paving paradise, constructing commercial buildings, or adding intrusive signage. The parcel is industrial restricted zoning at this time. Its conservation aligns with the town's master plan and preserves a heritage landscape identified in a 2009 Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation report. Adjacent land is already on the Agricultural Preservation Restriction Program. And additionally, sedimentation and/or beaver activity in the Palmer Brook drainage area has flooded previously dry sections of this parcel. So less and less is drier and drier. This same brook feeds into the marshes near Goose and South Ponds. The price of the parcel was $900,000. based on granted variances, plans, and permits for a marijuana facility. Because the permits had lapsed, the price dropped to $275,000, then $250,000. We have an offer to purchase price of $175,000 for the 10.52 acre industrial restricted zone parcel. We must enter into a purchase and sales agreement and only have until December 24th of this year for closing. So we're asking for the support of this project and then an article be placed on a special town meeting warrant for this fall. We want citizens of Southwick to know about this project and we want them to be able to vote on it. Thank you.
Very well done. Very good reasoning. And I'm glad that you're able to relay that, even though there's not many people listening. That'll be something that I think the public is gonna want to hear about why this is a good project.
Thank you.
So appreciate that, Lee. All right, any more discussion? Anyone else want to speak?
I do have like some questions. I've never experienced an acquisition of a piece of property.
So it's the same thing as everything else. It has to go through town meeting, but it has to be voted on as 2/3 majority at the town meeting.
Okay.
So that's the difference
That is
between
the
this and
difference.
another project.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
And then we do need an appraisal of the property.
yeah. Did I see one?
So that was the quote.
Vote for
And
the appraisal.
A
And I
quote for
can-
the
So
appraisal.
we're gonna vote on that to come out of administrative fee.
Exactly. So that's the following bullet point after that.
Okay,
So we would need an appraisal. We can't offer more than what the appraisal is. Am I correct?
I believe so.
And someone needs to hold the CR. From my understanding, the Historical Society wants to own the property. Is
That's
that,
our goal at this
the
point in
goal?
time.
so
I
we
mean, I
would,
see no advantage for the town of Southwick holding
No.
it.
Correct. I don't either.
right,
No.
so we would own, the town would own the conservation restriction, right? So we need the appraisal of this is a question. Do we need an appraisal of the property and an appraisal of the conservation restriction? Are they two different appraisals?
Think so.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
No, it's of the property itself.
Mhm.
so how much? I emailed Stuart and I asked him kind of what the process is. He says that usually conservation restrictions are around 80 or 85% of the purchase price. So how would,
Who's gonna hold the conservation restriction?
they're asking us,
South Conservation Commission,
yeah,
so we wouldn't charge them anything.
Right. We can do it gratis.
okay,
They used to pay people to take conservation restrictions, but now a lot of the land trusts do take money for it.
so I do have something from Stuart. I'm trying to understand.
And the Conservation Commission would have to vote on that, but I would
Correct.
just assume
Yeah,
that.
we could put that on our next agenda.
It wouldn't.
I have information from the Franklin Land Trust as far as their bullet points as far as costs for
Yeah.
a conservation restriction. Appraisal to support the purchase price, and that's included in the proposal. A survey, this is not essential since there was a 2011 DL Bean survey of the property. The only thing is that plan, which was not recorded, has to be recorded, so that's $105 fee. Boundary signs recommended for $50. Title search, that's included in the closing costs for the parcel,
I saw the quick claim deed in here. Is that?
correct?
Yeah.
Title search or title certification, that's also included in closing costs. Legal fees, and they gave a quote of $2,500. And some of those legal fees are again being used for the closing of the parcel purchase, so some of that is going to be reduced. ESA inspection, I guess chapter or section 21E. I have not looked that up. She gave a price of $2,500. MLC administration fee of $25. MLC recording fee of $80. Deed recording fee, again, the property is being recorded as a separate entity, so there's no fee there. Conservation restriction recording fee, $105. And a baseline report fee of $2,500. And what I get for a CR cost is $7,865. Now, we budgeted $6,000 and included a certain amount, 10%, I believe, net cost above and beyond the actual cost. So that should be covered by this. So that is the information that I have from the Franklin Land Trust. And I will do more homework and share that back and forth with you, Sabrina, so that, you know, we're on the same page.
Do you know what the acronym ESC stands for?
I do not.
Okay,
So,
Right.
I'm just going to have to, or ESA,
or ESA, yeah.
I will have to look that up.
Environmental.
Or speak with, our representative that you were contacting at Franklin.
Okay,
So, you know, we're not gonna leave it totally murky. We've been doing a lot of homework and there's a lot to be done. And,
Yeah. thank you.
You know,
So how much are you asking for administrative fees? Out of administrative fees, how much was the dollar amount?
What did,
it's broken down into several different lines, but if you turn to page, I believe it's 3. Section 8, budget. You're going to see personnel $7,500, and that's our in-kind match, which is going to include administration of the grant and also other components such as the research and development of signage and kiosk and installation. But You'll
Just
see.
the money coming out of administrative fees, what's the total of that? 'Cause that's what we have to vote on tonight, but it should be,
administrative fees.
that's what the money for the survey.
That's
having
the
for
appraisal, so,
The appraisal was
Appraisal.
$1,500.
And that's all, no legal fees or anything? it's just the-
$1,500, that's being done by industrial commercial appraiser out of East Long Meadow as suggested. And I received several very good recommendations for that.
Good price, I guess.
preparation, appraisal.
Closing and legal costs above and beyond that are estimated at $5,750.
But that's gonna come out of the town.
That will
That's
come
beyond-
out
yeah.
of any appropriation is made down the road.
So we're looking for a vote on
1,500.
1,500 for
Well,
administrative fees.
we still have to vote on the other,
Yeah.
on the project
Right.
first.
And so I
We'll do
did,
the administrative fees second.
I did wanna read,
That's
Okay,
that's how it is in our agenda.
it makes sense anyway, yeah.
so 1,500.
Yes.
I
They're
did
two
wanna-
different quotes.
I do have an email that I gave you guys. I was asking Stuart Sagner, he is I guess, the program director of our Community Preservation Coalition. He's like, who we ask for these things, advice and whatnot. And, he
See your
said,
agenda, I don't-
He said the town must receive equal value to the money it invests in any land acquisition. That means you need an appraisal to determine what the town can pay, which is what we're gonna try to do. An appraiser can determine the market rate value of the land, and that is the maximum you can pay if the town was buying the land. If the town was only buying the restriction on the land from the Historic Society, then the appraiser could determine the value of that restriction. And that is the maximum you could give the Historic Society. Normally with conservation land, the restriction is equal to 80 or 85% of the value of the land. So the land trust would have, he's assuming there might be a land trust involved. The land trust would have to raise the difference if they wanted to own the land. land trust or the historic society would have to raise the difference if they wanted to own
They're
it.
asking us to pay for it in fee, not conservation restrictions, so it'd have to be the price, correct?
I believe so.
Could we get the appraisal and then decide to vote on the purchase of land? Would that be?
We'd have to take it out of order to pay for the appraisal first,
Yeah.
but that would make sense too.
Yeah, I mean, it does have to get appraised first
Yeah,
before, because they might have to come back to ask for some more money if it doesn't appraise out correctly.
Okay, so, and there's no way we could sort of table, voting on the purchase of the land until after the appraisal?
we can.
We could, but I don't see the purpose in it. If it doesn't appraise to what they want, then they would just have to come back in.
Okay.
If we pass things tonight and it goes through, then we're all set.
Then we're off and running.
Right.
Yep. But I have a suggestion.
Yeah, but that was good thinking.
Thanks.
All right. Anybody else have any questions or discussion or?
I heard Sabrina mention earlier, question about conservation restriction for part or all of the parcel. You know, as far as if years down the road, you know, we wanted to move another building on the site. I don't have a nice answer for you, 'cause that's really trying to get the crystal ball glowing is all I
Right.
can say.
Yeah.
But in other instances, where there have been APRs and conservation restrictions, typically what they do is they'll identify a specific area that is not covered by the CR. That could be surveyed or has meets and bounds based upon, you know, monuments. And say, we're not putting a CR on this part. And, you know,
In this case, Lee, she did get an answer from Stuart saying that we could put a conservation restriction on the property and then put a building on it later.
If it's
I
part
said-
of the conservation
It's part of the
restriction,
restriction.
you just write that
Okay.
into the.
Otherwise,
restriction.
you're gonna have to survey it, carve a piece out.
so it has to
That's
be
the APR.
worded into
Into
the
the-
conservation
correct,
restriction
yeah.
I
itself.
think
Correct.
it's
And that's doable.
possible.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, the other thing is, right now, you know, with 50-foot rear lot line setback and
Yeah.
with our south line 50-foot setback from there. If we owned 74 College Highway, you basically have one parcel at that point in time. So that means that we could in de facto build to the edge of our existing plot without having to go for any type of variance.
correct.
So, I mean, that's
Yeah.
another way around it for if we
Right.
wanted to put another building.
Yeah, and as far as conservation restrictions go, generally, what happens is if it serves the purpose of the restriction itself, you can write that stuff into it. You know, that's part of what this is all about, is the historical value of that property and historical buildings that are on there. So I mean, if you want to put more historical buildings, that could be written in as that, because it does serve the purpose of what the land is for.
Or monument or signage or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, we're not going to, you know, our idea is not to, you know, create a.
Sturbridge Village.
A dense story again, Sturbridge Village, it's not the commercial buildings on,
Right,
you know, neon, flashing neon signs, et cetera,
Correct.
so. You know, I don't think that anyone here has that in their mind's eye by any means.
right.
Stuart, in the email, he said it's far more tricky to place a building on land you acquired with CPA funds because of the restriction. He wanted more detail in order to give a more accurate answer.
Mhm.
So it's tricky.
but if you carved it out, then that would leave it open in the future for somebody to put it,
Right,
anything they wanted there.
So,
So we-
so that's another way around this is simply
Yeah.
identify
Yeah,
specific
as long
parts.
as it's historical in nature and purpose, I think, write that into the CR.
Figure that out before you submit the conservation restriction to the state.
You know, that's gonna take some time to put together.
Yeah. Yeah, but things just to consider ahead of time
Absolutely.
instead of kind of like what we're experiencing with North Pond, where we're like, oh, we can't do that? That sucks.
well, I think a lot of people who were involved with the North Pond thing weren't involved back when the conservation restriction was written, so they aren't aware of what's in it. So I think that's the problem.
Okay.
Well, we tried to get porta potty in that conservation restriction
They
and
didn't want it.
they fought us on it, so instead of losing the whole thing. So that's the only thing in the conservation restriction, I think we,
Yeah, and it's
Regret.
the state that owns the conservation, so they're
Correct.
probably more strict.
Well, it has to be an
Whereas-
act of the legislature to change the conservation restriction because it's the state that owns it.
yeah,
Yeah.
this would be local, so
This is
Local,
different.
so we can-
amended it. on a
Okay,
local basis.
that puts my mind at ease a bit about this.
Okay? I'll take another motion. You already made a motion, I'll second the
Yeah.
motion. Okay, all in favor? And Rick,
Dennis, I,
John Longley, aye.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Well, Brad, back and I.
Thank you, Brandon. All right. All right, so we're good and the ball's rolling, so we'll have to go from here. If you need to come back, we can come back. You know, other than our regularly scheduled meetings, we can
Yeah,
try to come back emergency basis if you need to before the town special.
Is there a special town meeting?
Well, you have to get this, that's a select board thing. That's, you'd have to,
are you saying we can't vote on the administrative money now? Because
we can't, oh yeah, absolutely. That's next on the agenda.
it is
I
on
was
the
going to see if you guys wanted this
Yeah.
before we
Yeah.
Yeah.
allocated the funds.
Yeah. Or putting it- As far as the order of things go, you need the appraisal first, but as far as we go, we need to vote on the project. Or why vote on the appraisal?
Right,
So that's why it's
That was
different
my-
on the agenda than it would be in the process. Okay,
Dennis wants to make a motion.
Dennis,
I'll make a motion to approve the
I'll second for $1,500 for the appraisal.
Rick Harriman, aye.
That's out of the administrative fund.
Yep.
Thank you, Rick.
Dennis, I,
John Longley, aye.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Brad, back and I.
Okay,
We specify where the. first
That would be
project funds
historical.
will come in, historical?
yeah.
oh,
Did we capture that?
we.
I don't think we wrote, I didn't think we put that in, but that's where it will be coming from. It wasn't in the motion, but yes.
Thank you for
Thank you,
clarifying
David.
that, I would have been.
Never went back. All right. Okay, let's look at the membership for the Community Preservation Coalition, $1,750.
Make a motion, we join the coalition.
has that gone up over the years?
I think it was $1,500 to start with. It's went up $250, I believe. But
John made a motion,
Mhm.
I'll
I
second.
Rick Harriman, aye.
Dennis, I,
John Longley, aye.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Brad, back and I.
And as you see, we get a lot of advice from the coalition every year.
Well-
Stuart has been at our meetings, he's spoken to the public through our meetings, very readily asks or answers questions that we have. Stays on the phone for a long time,
yeah,
very willing to talk to you, put that one.
I always.
Yeah,
He's great though.
very helpful, very helpful. Okay. Look into the old business, review new CPC application forms. Did anybody else have a chance to look at that?
it worked on my computer, but it didn't work on my iPad
Okay,
as far as filling it out.
Yeah, maybe that's why Beth had an issue. She couldn't fill it
Now,
out.
are you gonna be able to just submit that, or do you have to print it out and submit it?
You can copy it, like,
There should
You
be a way
save-
to
you could
fill
save
out
a
a
copy
form
and
that goes, a PDF file that goes directly to
right.
the town, that you don't have to fill out paperwork.
And
I don't know if anyone's
And
ever.
if you
seen
get
it.
renamed, there should be a way of renaming it each time so that when the next person goes in there, it's not that form. It comes up as the original form and they have to rename that form.
All right, let me. see,
Otherwise, you're
you
gonna get a whole
mentioned-
bunch of people changing each other's stuff.
You mentioned that before, how can I go on that?
Be nice to be able to just go on your computer, fill it out, push a button, and it gets
Right.
submitted.
And there is a way of doing that.
Yeah, there definitely is a way.
But I think we fixed one bug today, right?
I
instead of-
did. Let
We
me
have
try.
expanding boxes now instead of typing in and it fills the box with the text and it shrinks as you type.
Oh.
That was
cool.
Oh,
kind of hard to read.
And then it was also like going off the page
And so,
too, and I spent like all afternoon trying to figure out how to, it was just a click of a box. It was just crazy simple. It took me
Mhm.
forever.
wrap text probably.
I know the existing PDF form, when I filled it out, I didn't press a proper icon up in the top when I wanted to make a change. And it just,
Lost the whole thing.
I just kept on going back to the same
Oh.
content that I previously had. So I could correct it. And, if I wanted to press, send, print, it just automatically went back. So,
We gotta catch up with the technology
Yeah.
here for sure.
This has been years we've been trying to get this process,
bless you.
so.
Bless you. All right, I'm just trying to log into my email and I can't find Outlook. There we go. I want to go in and try to figure out what you guys were talking about.
Can I just take a step back and ask one question?
Sure.
What will be the process at this point? Provided you hire, retain the appraiser, and the appraisal comes back at, $175,000, okay? Who's gonna present, this to the select board?
I think you would be doing that. You would present to the select board, that's what you're gonna be asking for a special town meeting.
Well, we would write the warrant
We would-
article.
We would write the warrant article on it,
Okay,
and then you would be the one to stand up and sell it at the meeting. And if it does come in higher, then you just come back and ask us before the meeting, and we would amend or whatever, but also, just to let you know, amounts of money can be amended on the floor. Can be more or less.
But if it comes in higher, are we able to still do it?
Oh, that's the,
I
True,
thought
that's
that
true,
They would
Dennis.
have to find the money from someplace else to
You would-
supplement it.
you would have to supplement. True,
In other
that is
words,
true,
if
because we
the-
can't spend more through CPC than the land is valued at.
so if they come in with
Thank
appraisal
you,
of $150,000 and we're buying it for $175,000, then we would have to have a funding source
For the difference.
for the difference.
Correct.
Yep.
Understood. So basically, we have to wait until we get an appraisal back.
Well, he
Correct.
said
Well-
it could be amended on the, well.
If you're gonna ask
It
for,
would have to be
if
amended.
it's appraised for more and you need more, then it can be amended on the floor, or you come back here and we would change that and the warrant article as well.
Well, our price is fixed at 175 right now. And that is good for,
It won't come in less than that.
I don't think so either. It was valued at 900, so I think we're at bottom rate, I hope,
That's the
okay,
price of a building lot right now.
right?
Plus it's zoned in that area where you can put certain items that you can't put in other areas, industrial.
Right.
I think that's jacks up the appraisal price on it in the frontage. So
So-
642.1 feet. Approximately.
it's a lot.
How many inches?
Well, the 0.1 feet, John, that's how many inches?
So what, am I gonna be initiating the appraisal? Is that how that works? The town does it? Or does the applicant?
I think the applicant would be initiating the appraisal, we would be funding it,
So we would write a check to the Historic Society?
the 1,500, and then they would be getting the appraisal.
Okay,
Okay.
so we will contact.
Yeah, we
the
voted
appraiser,
to fund the appraisal,
Right,
not to get an appraisal. So you would be, once it's funded,
It'd be simpler if we could just pay the appraiser.
We'll pay the price.
Yeah.
You could go with that direct route, I think. We've done it before.
Okay. Let's do that then.
It's easier,
Easier.
for the town.
So you will pay directly, but we are responsible for
For get- for-
contacting the appraiser and say,
Yeah.
get your butt
I
over
think you've
here,
already,
appraise
I
the
think you've
property.
already done that.
We haven't set a date though,
Yeah,
because
but I mean,
we're
you
waiting for
have-
approval.
An appraiser with an estimate and
Correct.
so I think
So
that,
bring will write out a request for purchase order, but
okay.
gotta get the information of the appraiser and make sure. or
Yeah, all the
vendor and that.
information's on
Contact
the quote,
information.
right? I could probably
Yes, name of the
initiate that with.
appraiser, address, blah, 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 the fee. You have,
I could probably try initiating that with, Laura tomorrow, cause I'm gonna need, a W-9 form in order to pay them. They need to be like a
Yeah.
vendor.
So-
That's a process.
okay,
Yeah.
so I can contact them tomorrow.
After the last.
Get it
one,
going.
about the Emails.
Do we have any idea when the next town meeting is proposed?
We don't.
I haven't even heard buzz about a fall one, but that doesn't mean there's not gonna be one, but we do have a presidential election this year. So that might be just taking up a lot,
But
you know?
I
Well,
would contact the select board. and-
Yeah,
usually if a
ask
project
them.
comes up, the town needs to vote on it, then they'll have a meeting, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything.
It could be a very short meeting for a change, would be nice.
I had heard, or December is what I had heard, but
A December meeting?
yeah, that's what I heard.
That'd be good.
At our
Do you-
last Parks and Rec meeting. Just, because there are a couple things that are coming up. Yeah,
That need to be
Budget
addressed in the
right.
meeting.
Ah,
we have one, now you guys have one.
you have one? Park and Rec?
Well, Parks and Rec has
So good to
one,
know.
Yes,
Okay.
that's new business.
correct.
New biz? Alright.
Okay.
May we
Get
leave at
there.
this time or?
See you later, Lee.
You
Thanks
can leave.
for
You're
coming.
You passed, you're done, you're good to go.
I'm past
This
my
is like
bedtime.
dance recital, once you're in, you gotta
Go
sit
ahead.
for the
That's
whole
my
have
thing.
dinner.
bedtime too. Thank
Sure enough,
you. Okay, so Dennis, what were you talking about with cause I have all the forms up now, and you said there's an issue with. Oh, you wanted to see if we could,
Push a button and
Push it.
just send it. It's just
I
a
think it's,
fillable form
Yeah.
PDF file and there are a lot of. most
like
of
a
the
share
towns-
button or a,
so I think you would just save,
You gotta save it locally.
yeah, save it locally to your computer. It's not gonna change the actual, form up on the website.
okay,
Save it as a PDF and then send
And
it
then
back
send
as a
it-
PDF.
Yeah, so it could be email,
Yeah, that was
the
my big
project could be emailed to me, cause there's gonna be other documents that we're gonna want, not just the application page. Cause that's just the front page, but we want supporting documents too, so
right.
this way,
Oh,
it can all be emailed to me,
He's-
yeah,
What you need to know though is, and I think this is what someone had brought up, is that when you hit save and it saves to your local,
mhm,
if they just save it, they don't change anything. And 10 different people do that,
mhm,
they're gonna all be received by somebody with the same name, right? If I'm doing it, for example, and I don't change, if I just go and hit save, put it on my C drive and I send you the PDF. Right. And Dave does the same thing. You're gonna get two files, one from him, one from me, that are titled the same. Do
Right.
you know what I
well, I
mean? So
mean, that- when they're titled, they send to me, and I just kind of like title them
you
myself.
can rename them.
Yeah.
I just want you to be aware,
Yeah.
right?
I did
Okay.
it before that.
Like,
oh,
I would be
Oh, yeah.
discriminating enough to put at least my name on that or whatever it is, right? Cause I know I use PDFs all day.
You gotta bring up.
Not everyone
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
So you might wanna add that in the
Like,
text instructions to put in your project as.
Yeah.
And if they don't, you know
Yeah,
what's happening.
and actually, the PDF doesn't really work
No.
that well, where is it? Application forms. I redid these actually today, so it could be expandable in a good way.
But when you
It's
redid
the Word document is the one that works the best. The PDF doesn't work very well, because the PDF is when the letters shrink.
that, yeah,
But this one, when is
so
there
when,
an enabler?
You'd have to save a Word
I know
file
some
as a
enablers.
PDF, then it would have to
are you,
export it.
are you expecting PDFs to be returning?
It doesn't
You
matter.
could save it as a
You can
PDF
save it as a PDF, it doesn't
Right.
matter. Why is this not working on this computer?
to Dell.
file,
Ouch.
view, edit document.
It's using
Boom.
Microsoft.
So watch this.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
that's
what I
what
like.
Chris has been asking for the
That's
past
what I
like
want.
year and a half.
Thank you. I mean, it might make the pages look ugly, but you're gonna be able to read part by part and you're gonna be able to see, you know, you can be able to. Read the font will be the right size and the
But
information will be in the right space.
that's on your local, right? That's on your machine.
Yep.
But
That's not
what's-
gonna change what's on the site.
Right, that's,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my biggest worry.
No,
So
it
I-
wouldn't change what's on the site.
well, even on the site now, you're using the PDF front end.
Yeah, I
So
asked Jim.
in order to do this and have it react that way, you would put the doc on the front end, not the PDF. Do you know what I mean? You would deal
Doing the
with,
same.
What do you mean by front end?
so you're putting a PDF front end on the website. They're a form. But it, when it gets saved as PDF because it's got an Adobe front end.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
You would have to put a Microsoft Word front end instead. So where you put that file inside your web builder,
Uh-huh.
you would put the document versus the PDF. It still wouldn't change the document,
Mhm.
right? But then when they hit save, they're saving it as a Word document, not a PDF.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, right now, you've got PDFs out there, you'll wanna, if you wanna do this, you'll wanna change it to
Yeah.
docs.
Our IT guy, Jim, likes to convert things to PDF, probably because
They're
he's
safer.
worried that the
They're safer.
document's gonna be altered, but I have
That's
it
right.
protected. And I can password protect it
Well,
too.
they wouldn't say, I
Yeah.
guess what he's thinking is like, if it was a doc front end and I saved it as a doc and I sent it to you, you could change it. Right? But if I sent you a PDF, you could not.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true.
So.
I mean, I won't try to.
Right.
Not
I might
intentionally.
I mean, that's why-
accidentally like.
I'm,
delete
I'm
the
also in
letter.
IT, if you can't tell. That's why he does it in PDFs.
That would have been great if you were here like.
Right, 2 years ago would have been
before.
good.
But I learned a lot, you know, pulling my hair out, like, what's the right question to ask Google, cause I can't figure this out.
Google say contact ID.
I just didn't know what, I was like, how do I make it not expandable, but I needed to be expanded, anyways. I figured it out, last minute, I figured it out.
Nice.
And I'll have Jim put the Word doc, I don't see why he wouldn't put the
You could-
Word
yeah,
doc
you
on
should-
there.
you could.
He just likes to do the PDF thing. And that's why it's PDF now, and I didn't realize that.
But
It was
Rick, if you
shrinking
wanted to
letter.
Volunteer to work with her on that,
Mhm.
that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I would volunteer to work with you.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
And we did have a subcommittee that got together to go over content and things like that, format. But we run into some of these IT
the little
snags,
hiccups.
Okay.
so.
It just takes a couple hours longer to do things like all
And then we talk
afternoon.
at the meeting and then it goes to the next meeting.
Oh my God.
Next meeting.
I was like, I'm wasting so much time right now, but I need to figure it out.
What? Think about
Anyway.
how much you're learning.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna forget because I'm not gonna use it
Right,
again.
exactly.
That's what
Like a
happens to me.
language.
You can sign a Word document like a DocuSign type of thing, or that's, no.
No, that's an Adobe feature.
So I have, in this one, I have a e-signature. What you could do is you just add like a picture of your
Picture.
signature. So I have that option too. It's a
Yep.
separate one. If people want to do that. And that's another question. Do we accept e-signatures or does it have to be a wet signature?
As far as we go, I mean, we
Yeah.
can vote on that. I mean,
The Conservation Commission took a vote during COVID to accept these signatures. I think you have to vote on it.
yeah, we can take a vote on that.
To accept e-signatures?
Hey, do you wanna do that now? Do you think that's a necessary thing?
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think it would hurt
How
you. I mean,
Do we need to put it on the agenda? What do we have?
well, I mean, the application's not ready yet, so I don't think we need to vote on it tonight, but
Right.
we could put that in our next
Mm-hmm.
agenda, because we have to accept that as our application anyway, at some point. So we could do that together.
Okay. Fine. So
In
do
the
you
meantime,
want,
we'll all think of reasons why it should or shouldn't be.
do you want Jim
I
to
can tell you a
do
lot of reasons why it should be.
Okay,
So
the e-signature?
it's actually better than wet signatures, quite honestly, because they could sign my name, you wouldn't know who I am. Right, but with an e-signature, it definitely tells you who I am, it tells you what machine I'm signed into, what my username is,
right.
the date, time.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No,
I
that's
don't know
fine.
how-
No, that's
Fading.
great reasoning.
Yeah.
I mean, the application that we just got from Lee, you guys don't have it because he sent it to me like a couple of days later. There is that timestamp, I think, on there with the owner, or owners. I don't know how you do it, but,
Yeah,
cause I just take a picture of my signature and.
It's a feature in Adobe. You just.
Oh, in
use
Adobe,
signatures
so it
and-
needs to be
yep,
PDF.
so you
Yeah.
get the IP address of.
That could be part of it. Yep, it's a digital signature and it
Okay.
uses certificates. So it says you're signed into your machine. Yep.
Ooh,
Okay.
maybe I'll forward the Word documents over to you and see if you can work some magic. Because with the PDF, like I said, the way that Jim converted it, the letters shrunk and the box didn't expand.
Yeah. I can research that.
Okay. Which we want,
That'd
we
be
don't
amazing.
want them to shrink and we want the box to expand.
Right.
Yeah.
You want the font to stay the same size. No matter
Yeah,
what.
yeah, we
Correct.
want it to be able to
That we
read
wanna be
it.
able to read it all instead of scroll, you
Yep.
know, and you know how some boxes you can scroll through the box?
Yep.
But I wanna be
I
able to
I
print
would,
it out.
yeah,
too.
we wanna be able to print it out, so you
Correct,
want
so
the
you want
box
the
to
whole
expand,
thing.
so we can see the whole thing.
If it spans 5 pages, it spans 5 pages.
Right, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
sometimes we need a lot of information. Cool.
All right,
Man.
moving on.
I thought that was gonna get voted on tonight.
Well, you were so close. Look at, and we got an expert now, so.
I just want to get it off.
Zero expert.
Well, you know, better than where we were. All right,
CPC
plan updates.
Please vote on it tonight.
I thought it was amazing. I read it.
We can edit it later on. It's a living document. It's supposed to be reviewed every year. I tried my very best.
This is the first one ever.
It's the first one ever, so it, you know, it does not need to be perfect. We just need to have it.
It looks, I went through it, looks pretty good.
But.
Huh?
But.
No, we already have any buts.
Were they
It's a
spelling
million percent
mistakes?
better than what we have.
Like I said, I've yet to put Grammarly on the computer, that's.
Take a motion to vote on a community preservation plan, town of Southwick, for 2024.
Dave's being so moved.
Chris Pratt second. All in favor?
Rick Harriman, aye.
Dennis, I.
John Wally, aye.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Dave's being aye.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
One thing off your plate.
She can sleep tonight.
Well, that's probably not gonna happen either. Okay, update on CPC.
Yes, I contacted Brian, and he said that he's still willing to help with the stability of the signs. I asked him when he could do it, and he said he would let me know when he has, time.
Okay, perfect. Any other mail that we need to review, or is? We have our budgets.
Business.
Oh, Mr. Wally said he has some business that wasn't. didn't-
We need some guidance. Rick and I are on the
Advice.
pickleball subcommittee from Park and Rec. And we'd like to come back to the CPC, but we want to know what we should do in terms of an application. We want to build now 6 pickleball courts as opposed to the 4 that were proposed before. We want fencing, lighting, and a small pavilion as part of it. So it's gonna be more expensive, so we wanna come back. Do we make out a whole new application, or do we modify the original?
Well, I think
application?
the other one's been approved,
Yes.
so I think you need to make a new application, would be my opinion.
Or, or they can abort that.
If you, if
somehow they gotta.
you get rid of the other one,
Yeah, we'll do that.
which is pretty much the same thing as coming back with a new one. But I don't know if you wanna get rid of that, cause then what if the new one doesn't pass with 6 instead of
The
the
new
4?
one's gonna pass.
I'm just saying,
We
I
get more
don't know if you wanna
pickleball
get rid of the old one.
nuts like him.
So this is at Wally Park you're talking
Yeah.
about?
It will be able to.
But if.
And it was
It's
4
still
that
gonna
was
happen too with
approved.
the.
Or was
I
it
think
approved?
it was
Two here.
fencing
Here,
on that
6
one.
on there,
But
Or was
they-
approved with fencing, no lighting.
No
and the
lighting.
Fencing was minimal. This one
Okay.
is a little more extensive.
I think at the meetings we talked about, you know, if there was more room. As
Plus, it's
well,
a different surface as well.
It's a different surface.
Oh,
so you're gonna do all 6 with a different surface, all the same?
Yeah.
I would
Yes,
redo
so
Yeah.
what, honestly, what was discussed at the Parks and Recs meeting was we looked at some of the quotes that we were getting and we came to the conclusion that we we could do 6 almost or under the budget with, no lighting, the same fencing, the same surface. We could do 6 for the price of 4, but we were told that's not what was voted on. Right.
Right, it wasn't.
So that's why we're coming back saying, well, if we're gonna do that, then we're gonna change a couple things now that we've learned a little bit more about
Yeah,
how to do pickleball correctly.
we're a lot smarter now.
We're a lot smarter than when we went the first time. Yeah,
Do you know where it's
Super.
going to be?
Yes.
Yes,
So, oh, good.
we have a package.
we have a package
Okay.
that is being redone right now because we've taken a few things,
Hopefully tomorrow night.
right? So we've seen an initial draft, but now we're getting to a final so we can get, a true quote on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sitting near wetlands.
We need a number first, and then we come
Okay.
at the next meeting to the CPC
With
with an
an official
application.
wetlands down there.
You down by the
That
bathroom?
scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big area down
Yeah, it's the lower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's perfect for
there.
it.
It is.
absolutely. That
I
lot's
agree.
not being used,
Yeah,
or that field, I should say.
I mean,
Right.
I'd like to learn pickleball. I think
You're
You'll
too
learn it
young.
in moments.
that's good.
That's the easiest game to learn.
We have a pickleball professional subcommittee.
We do.
Two of
Yeah.
them, actually.
Randy White.
Randy.
Oh, yeah,
Randy.
Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Randy.
I'm not a professional, but I think I'm quicker than he is.
Yeah. I would- Yes, it.
That's on video.
Right, you're not saying anything.
Burn.
Okay,
All right.
all right, so, yeah. I like the idea,
So it'll be a whole new application.
I would say so.
And we'll
Okay.
abort the old one.
Well, don't abort it right away.
I
hear what you're saying, and
Wait till your other one.
I'm very confident in this, but I agree with you. I
Yeah,
don't,
maybe make it
That in your back pocket.
Yeah.
conditional,
knocking on any kind of wood I see here.
like conditional will abort
Yeah.
Yes.
this application.
Yeah.
this
We're not
way.
asking in addition.
Upon the pass of this, that will go.
Yeah,
right.
let's do that.
Yeah.
I'll come
All
back
right.
in a minute.
So,
What you said.
And we're trying, that's where I learned about the potential December meeting is because we're also trying to get that package in before then. So we can
Okay.
get it voted, so we can get the
get it
Get it
going
groundbreaking in the spring.
right,
That'd be
Yes.
great.
that'd be awesome.
Yogi.
Okay, let's look at the minutes from July 17th. Some of you were here, some of you were not here.
Yeah,
Rick was here, but he wasn't sworn in
Wasn't
yet,
valid.
so he may, I don't think he can vote, but you can
Cannot.
help us edit, content, you can't say anything. Even though you were here.
there was, I have, a question
Mhm.
in. Because one's a
That's cool.
open hearing, open informational
Oh.
hearing, and the other one, yeah, so the one I sent last minute, cause I forgot that one too.
Uh-huh.
And then the other one's the regular meeting. So in the regular meeting, we did approve minutes from 2, 3 meetings prior. And I realized after the fact of our meeting while doing the notes was that on February 21st. We did have all of the people in that meeting that we have here on the board now, meaning. We could actually have a real quorum instead of me just writing to the town clerk. No possible quorum because we have new members. And the only person that was missing in the last meeting to vote on the February 21st was Dennis.
Oh.
Does that make any sense? What I said, did that make any sense?
Yes.
It did to me. Dennis's fault, is what you said.
It's not Dennis's fault.
That's
I
what I
should,
heard.
I should have caught that. But we don't have Beth here tonight to do a revote.
Right, so. It'll
So,
still sit.
Huh?
It will still sit, but we have the, is the audio still online? So people can access
yeah, the
that?
audio's on.
So, I mean, I feel comfortable with that. I don't know
Yeah.
if anybody else has a problem or,
Do we want to do a
It's just not
revote
a-
in the future?
well, why don't we wait till we have the people who are actually here to vote on it?
Okay.
But at this point, it's a moot point because
Right,
who's to remember what they said or who said what, or you know what I mean?
I mean,
If there's a way to go around it, I would say try that avenue.
yeah, and you know, there is. You guys can vote on how you approve the minutes. According to the open meeting law, there is no set rule, so even you by yourself can just approve the minutes. So if you wanna vote.
Well, I think
to
that
have
has to be
a quorum-
voted on as the committee.
As, yes,
Yeah,
well, as
I
the
can't just say,
committee,
hey.
but you can
good for
say
me.
the quorum for that night voted yes to approve the meeting minutes as opposed to, oh, this person wasn't here, so they can't vote. It's up to you guys on
It's
how you wanna
flexible,
vote.
yeah.
Yeah, it's super flexible. It's up to you guys. Cause this has happened a few times where we kind of lose people in the committee and then we can't actually have the
Yeah.
quorum or the quorum
Right.
vote that we want, and it's
And
kind
they've
of,
had people vote on it that haven't been at the meeting, and that's
Yeah.
fine, yeah.
yeah, I
Okay.
mean, yeah, and people
As
can
long as
always
we
look
accept
at.
that beforehand. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if you guys wanna make it official, if you wanna put it on. the
I
agenda
wanna
or
make that motion right now.
Make a
Okay.
motion,
Pat made the motion.
can you describe the motion?
Certainly.
That anybody at the
We can
meeting.
approve
can
the
accept-
meeting, minutes of the meeting if we have a quorum, not necessarily the people that were here at the time.
So a quorum at the current meeting
Right.
to vote on the minutes.
I'll second that, yeah.
All in favor?
Okay.
For Cameron, I.
Dennis, I.
John Monahan?
Chris Pratt, aye.
Jason, I.
Read it now.
Okay. That'll make a
Yeah,
life
that
a
will
lot
make it
easier, right?
much easier.
Start doing this.
Burn.
Okay. Does anybody see anything that they'd like to change in our meeting minutes?
Is Christina?
I did not, no.
July 17th.
No.
I didn't believe it or not. I didn't see.
Okay,
Even
seconds,
with the strike through, guys. I've
all
never-
in favor?
Yeah.
Dennis, I.
For Cameron, I.
John Monahan?
Chris Pratt, aye.
Jason, I.
Round and I.
All
Wait,
right.
who, motion second?
I was a
I
second.
motion.
I was second. We can start down at this end,
Or
the
second
signature
both.
page.
Thank you. And then the information.
And the way we were doing it is, I think all the names are on the signature page anyway, aren't they?
I have to
Okay.
scratch out.
I mean, Jeannie Reed is
On the signature page.
she?
Oh, it says member now.
There you
Okay,
go.
so there you
There
go.
you put your name. You don't have to write Jeannie Reed.
Now see if you can read my signature.
It
Get a
doesn't matter.
DocuSign.
Right.
It is there.
There's a witness, we're all witnesses.
Mhm.
You need separate votes for both or just vote for both?
Separate votes for them,
All right,
because they're separate.
Okay,
meetings.
got it.
take a motion on the other meeting.
I made a
The
motion
public
for both
informational
if you
hearing.
change it.
Dave Spina, so moved.
Aye,
Aye.
I.
unanimous.
Who is second?
Aye,
You say.
was.
Aye. It's not.
We had to go home earlier because it was his bedtime before. Please.
That's fine. That's fine. Is that all?
Okay,
Make a motion to adjourn?
Are we done? Yes.
end of the table, you're stuck here until you sign. Just so you know.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Oh.
Agree? Aye too?
Yes.
Unanimous. All right, thank you, everybody, for coming. Makes life so much easier when people show up.
Yeah.
See TJ and Channel 15 interview with Joe Didi and,
Oh.